business is to amend the agenda. I have a motion.
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next item on business is to appoint a new board member. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we appoint Jennifer Cantner as our new board member for District 5.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
In second. No discussion. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Jennifer, would you like to say something for us again, please? We're gonna swear you in. Mr. Judge Mueller, get yourself over here. Have all day.
I didn't want to rush her, sir.
Do you want to say anything for you?
Oh, you gotta go out
Get
front.
sworn in first.
You gotta go out front. No pressure. All right, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky as long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of school board member according to law. And I do furtherly solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any persons thus offended, so help me God.
I do.
Congratulations.
I'd just like to say thank you all. It's going to be an honor to serve. There we go. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to working with everybody, and I'm excited to be here. So, thank you.
We'd like to say that we did have 5 applicants, and every one of them were good. We're real privileged and honored of the people that applied. So we feel it was very difficult, but we feel like we got a person that will move forward with our team and support our education part for us, what we're doing in our district as well. So we congratulate her being a part of our family. And Judge, I know you're not gonna stand there all day, so all evening. So thank you very much. You can step out anytime you
I
want.
appreciate it. And thank you all for what you do. It's important to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Recognition.
Well, we are very excited, as always, to honor our champions of the month, but this month it's a little bit different. We're going to be honoring, as our champions of the month, both staff and students together. And we are honoring the staff and students of William Cofield High School as our champions of the month. And let me explain why. The Kentucky School Board Association gives out one award every year that goes to the school district that really pushes for achievement in education in public schools. And the name of the award is the Public Education Achievers in Kentucky, or PEAK Award. And it is a very competitive process to go through the nomination process to be considered for this award. And the staff and the central office members, we all nominated William Cofield High School back in the fall for the PEAK Award. And it was just recently announced that we won. And so William Cofield High School and Franklin County Schools will receive the PEAK Award at the Kentucky School Board Association Conference coming up next weekend. But we couldn't wait that long to celebrate them. So we would love at this time to bring up, we have some staff members from William Cofield High School, Principal Adam Nance. We've got our lead teacher, Casey Tarter, Who else do we have back
And
there?
our social worker, Martha Carlisle.
Our social workers here as well. Y'all come up and congratulations. We couldn't be more proud of you.
Let's do a picture board. Go get the home. Come on over here. Yeah.
I've never had one of these, I'm not sure how to do them.
Yeah.
And then just-
I think you gotta be like Robin.
There you go.
You put your principal in between the two.
That's you, Paul.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
that's what you
Yeah.
do.
I like it.
There you go.
All right, y'all ready? One, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations.
During the whole month. So you
Yeah,
can't forget.
thank you.
And make sure that the students, we get some pictures with the students.
Oh,
Thank you, sir. I want to say one thing about Chuck real quick. Before we move on to the next item, for those of you who are watching this or maybe don't know everything that William Cofield High School does, it came into existence about 5 years ago, and this board approved the creation of William Cofield High School, named after one of our greatest board members who's ever served this community and this school district, William Cofield. And it was created with the intention of providing opportunities for students where the traditional setting at high school wasn't, the best setting for them. And since that time, it has been one of the key components to increasing the graduation rate in this district from 80% up to 95+%. And the work that they do every single day with our kids is so appreciated, and we couldn't have a better representative of Franklin County Schools than the folks at William Cofield. So again, thank you so much.
Mark, I'd just like to add, I remember when, the first class was how many, like 20?
Yeah, 23, something like
Yeah,
that.
and now it's what?
We graduated about 62 last year, is that right, Adam? Somewhere in that ballpark?
Our
Up
first
it
year
a
was
little bit.
40, our second year was 50, our third year was 62, and last year was 74.
And
74.
And that's the graduating kids, yeah.
And we could quite hit triple digits this year.
Wow, I think that's amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Now, is that for the whole district, kids from Western Hills,
Yes.
everywhere? Okay.
We'd like to say congratulations. Any public comments? New business.
The first item is for a resolution to join CKEC, the resolution to join the Central Kentucky Education Cooperative at a prorated rate for the remainder of this school year is attached for approval. The recommended motion is to approve the CKEC resolution.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Justin?
Justin. Any discussion? Explain what's going on.
Yeah, so the Central Kentucky Educational Cooperative is one of, I think, about 8 cooperatives around the state. Currently, we're members of OVEC, which is the Ohio Valley, where we have 15 members. CKEC is quite a larger cooperative, offers a lot more resources and opportunities for us from different perspectives, like with food and nutrition. Christy's in the back. By joining the cooperative, we're able to save a significant amount of money on purchases of food. With instruction, Tammy can kind of address those things.
Yeah, there's 45 districts in CKEC, and so there's a large support with instruction. They also have a fairly large selection of online training modules as well, so it opens us up to a lot of PD opportunities already at hand online, plus quite a few supports around instruction.
Who's the director?
It's David Young.
Okay. All right. He's a fine young man, okay? All right. You've heard any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of the recommendation, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next one is approve revised LPC.
The revised local planning committee is attached for approval. The recommended motion is to approve the revised LPC as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second with the brothers over here. All in any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Reading updates.
The updated procedure 04.31 AP1 is attached for your review. Procedures require a reading by the board. It does not require a motion.
The 23 and 24 school calendar.
The 2023-2024 school calendar is attached for your review and approval. The first reading of the calendar was on January 23rd, 2023. The recommended motion is to approve the 2023-2024 school calendar as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
The motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second, any discussion?
I have one thing I'll say. Thank you to our new board member, Jennifer, who found we had made an error on the date for the primary election in May. Normally it's around that 14th, 15th, 16th, but next year it's a little later, just the way the calendar fell. So we made that change, and the one that is on there is the updated calendar.
That's my bad there, because I was on that committee.
It's all good.
Well, at least we're having confession today. All right, any more discussion? Jennifer, if I had roses today, I would give them to you, okay? Thank you for catching that. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Food service and updated plan.
The updated school year 22-23 procurement plan for food service is attached for review and approval. The recommended motion is to approve the 22-23 updated food service procurement plan.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And hearing no no's, the motion carries. Next one is capital, church donation.
The Capital City Church would like to donate $1,110.49 to pay off student lunch accounts in the district. And those lunch accounts are the past student lunch accounts. They're not current because all of our students do receive free lunch now. So the recommended motion is to approve the donation from Capital City Church as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So, motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. Any discussion?
I just want to thank Capital City Church. I mean, a lot of people throughout the district has said, you know, well, we want to donate to this or that and the other. And I seen some Facebook posts said if you want to donate, you ought to donate to, you know, paying for school kids' student lunches in the past. So I think that's a good thing.
Are there, is that everything? Are there still balances?
I think that
That
completely
clears-
clears the balance. Christy, is that accurate?
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
So is that just for, is it for a certain age group?
It's mostly middle and high school,
Or-
because elementary's been free for a long time.
So anybody you rolled over with a balance?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Construction.
We are requesting closeout of the following BG1s. Again, this is some financial housekeeping. Project 11-030, Gymnasium Auditorium Wiring at Franklin County. 14-110, replace existing hollow metal doors at County and at Western Hills. 15-031, replace East Main Street Central Office roof. 18-350, BMS car rider awning. And those The project numbers, the first two numbers are the year in which that project was, put out. So we're going back to 2011 and cleaning up some past things. So the recommended motion is to approve the closeout of BG1s as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do we hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
The motion is made. There's a second
Second,
and second. Any discussion?
Good job, thank you.
I was gonna ask real quick, now, was any of those completed? I know the,
These closeouts in particular, the closeouts in particular have not been completed. So they were, the BG1 is the very first step in the very
Right,
first
right, right.
Formative project. They were started, and I would imagine due to, like, for instance, the central office roof, due to cost, we ended up buying the buildings at 190 King's
right, I
Daughter.
knew
So
that when I'm talking
they
about.
just were never closed out. And so KDE keeps them as open projects until there's a board order number to close them out. And that's why they're presented for today.
Well, I was concerned about the existing hollow metal doors. That's one of those doors, are fire prevention doors.
Those may have been included, as the list that I gave you all at the last working meeting, it had all of the projects that are still currently standing in KDE. And that could have been clustered into another project in the future. So very well, they've been taken care of in another project, just this particular project number did not happen.
That's exactly what happened on those doors. I do know that.
What do you mean
They
They were clustered.
replaced those.
they did replace
They
them?
replaced them, but at a different time. It was a different project.
Okay, I just wanna make sure because, I mean, that's one of the things I write them up for. When I'm down in the States, so I wanna make sure that they're corrected.
So yes, that did happen. And the BMS car rider awning, that never got installed either. So it was for the car rider side, and I assume, I wasn't here in that disposition at the time, but I assume it's because of the cost.
The cost was exorbitant.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Here none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval of change order.
We've got a couple of change orders for the CTC welding project. The first one is change order number 1 for BG 22-122 is to provide 10 male cords with twist lock ends for welders, and it is attached for your review and approval. The recommended motion is to approve change order number 1 for the CTC welding project.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the chair will proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Approval order number.
Change order number 2 for CTC welding project is to provide a new receptacle for a 4-pack inverter welding rack, and it's attached for your review and approval. The recommended motion is to approve change order number 2 for the CTC welding project.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Request invoice.
Yeah, this is the Franklin County High School concession project that has been completed, and it is now time to pay the bills. So the request to pay invoice to Toadvine, that's a company, for $175,688.07 for the Franklin County High School's concession building. The recommended motion is to approve payment to Toadvine as presented.
You've heard the secretary. You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there, a motion made, is there a second?
Second.
And second, any discussion?
That was a long time coming, and again, I thank you, Mark, for stepping up, and it was something that was promised probably 15 years ago, and I appreciate you stepping up and getting that taken care of.
Absolutely. I appreciate the kind words, and it was necessary, and I'm real excited for the future of the concessions there. It's a beautiful building.
Any other comments? Hearing none, we proceed to vote. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Reports to the board.
First one is personnel actions taken since the last meeting of the board are presented for your information.
Reports from school council.
Draft minutes from school site-based decision-making councils are presented for your review.
And we have a report coming up on attendance report.
Mr. Sexton?
Good evening. I have month 5 attendance. Month 5 ran from December the 9th to January the 19th. In month 5, we ended with 5,939 students, and our district percentage that month was 93.09. So brought it up from the previous month, but still not where we were at the beginning of the year. So still just fighting some sicknesses. But we're getting there. Any questions?
Thank you.
I think it's you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said construction, and so I completely apologize.
I was just sure you
Instructional.
was paying attention.
I thought it was construction, I was passing it over one, so I'm so sorry. So just a few little snippets of some of the things that we're working on in the instruction and curriculum world. One of the things we're doing is supporting our new teachers across the year, not just for a one-day kind of an orientation at the beginning of the year. And so this month we have gave our new teachers an option of 2 different trainings that they could attend. One was on differentiated instruction, and one was on classroom management. One was last week, and the other is upcoming this week. So really trying to support our new teachers. We also have a deeper learning grant that I think we've mentioned it a couple of times earlier in the year through OVE. And it was, we took the deeper learning grant funds and we reissued them in forms of mini grants to our teachers. We have 15 teachers that are working with the funds in that grant. And so what they're doing is attending some different trainings. It's kind of self-guided and self-paced around some kind of deeper learning in their classroom. One example is like project-based learning. And really kind of some forward thinking of where students are really having choice and ownership in their learning. And these 15 teachers will take this learning that they're working with and will present at our summer conference for other teachers. So they'll be passing that knowledge on to other teachers. And so that's kind of ongoing currently. Another thing that we've really been working on, and the district's done this for more than 1 year, but we've kind of taken it to a deeper level this year, is our learning labs. So you may have heard some things about our learning labs, but basically that's where our teachers learn from other teachers in the district about best practice. And so the way a learning lab works is that you have a host teacher that is doing a great job at some type of instructional strategy in their classroom. We have 6 to 8 other teachers and administrators that will go to that building. They will have a kind of pre-conversation about what to expect to see around that particular skill and practice in their classroom. And so some deep conversation there. Then they'll observe that lesson anywhere from 45 minutes to 90 minutes. And then there's kind of a debrief and post-conversation with the teachers that are doing the observing and the teacher that was actually teaching that lesson. So it's really teachers learning from teachers within our own district. So it's a great structure, and our teachers and our schools are really doing a great job of that work. And so we've had 4 so far this semester. We had quite a few last semester, and we have 7 more labs across our schools that will happen between now and the end of March. So a lot of really good work going on there with teachers learning from teachers. It's a great thing. We are working on planning for our Summer Learning Institute, which is our internal conference that we're doing. Today was the deadline for applications, and this afternoon when I looked at 47 of our educators in our district that applied to be facilitators at our own conference. So we were really excited to see that many of our own educators interested in presenting at our conference. And then just following up on some of the other things we've talked about, the instructional team in the last month has visited all of our schools for some walkthrough feedback and conversation. And then one of the things that we're working on over the next month is getting into the schools and observing and visiting our admin teachers as they have their PLCs or their professional learning communities and conversation about students. And so joining in on those meetings with our teachers and administrators. So a lot of work going on, a lot of good things that we're really excited about.
Any questions for Dr. Moon? No. You must have did a good job. There's no question. Thank you very much.
For that construction update.
Well, along the lines of construction update, we are currently working on wrapping up the CTC welding project. We're wrapping up, obviously, the Franklin County High School concession, and then we have some punch list items that we're addressing at the Western Hills track and field. So we're still wrapping up those projects, but I'd like to introduce Eric Steva. He's our district architect, and he has, based on a question that was offered to us at the last board meeting, I believe, about the East Main Street Central Office location and whether that is a salvageable building for storage. I'd asked for Eric to go over and assess the building and then give us his assessment. So, Eric, it's all yours.
So, I went there about 2 weeks ago, visited with Jennifer and Krampus. First thing that hit me was the overwhelming, it's very moldy and mist, yeah, so to salvage that, so it's a tricky question, because normally when you're looking at whole building demolition, you can just get in there with a big backhoe excavator, just tear it down, boom, done, clear it out really quick. This one was going to require a lot more finesse, because we're trying to take a top layer off, save the existing structure, remedy the downstairs. So the real question is, once we take that roof off, we still got to put a roof back on it. So there's the remediation of the mold and mildew issue. Then carefully tear it down. So that's premium cost, because it can't be done as easily as it is with bigger equipment. It's a little more fine tuned. Then once we get that slab done, I got to probably fill in the slabs where there's a stairwell, mechanical openings. Then I got to put another roof on it. Well, that roof probably is about a $200,000 item just alone. I compare that to a recent bid of a very similar size project for renovation. So that's kind of where that number came from. But then also looking at how you want to use that basement. Right now, there's a lot of little individual rooms. You probably want to clear out that basement and redo the electrical and mechanicals to suit a better floor plan for large storage. So there's some renovation costs in there. So for mechanical, electrical. Once you get all that done, this is probably a low number, but it's probably in that neighborhood of $800,000 just to get it down to where you can use it. The biggest issue I saw if you spent that, is that area could be prone to flooding. If you look at it, if you're on the back side of it, you look at it, you got the bus garage on one side at the higher elevation, you got a retaining wall in the back, and you got the building. You actually drive down into that area, and I just saw one little storm outlet that could be very susceptible to being covered, or if a large rain event happening. And then the floor level of the existing lower level is only a couple inches above that. So even if you spend all that, you would also be at risk for that area to be flooding in the future. So again, I think it's looking at the district, do you really need the storage? That's the other thing you got to look at. You're going to spend a lot of money for something that maybe is not well suited, because accessing cars back in there. Recently, we did for Clay County, they did build a pre-engineered metal building for storage. That's all it's dedicated for. Looking at how your funds would be used, it would be much better if you needed that storage, which I don't understand, which I think you don't need at this point, but it'd be something to consider the next DFP or local planning committee to look at providing that something. Or if you do something to enlarge the bus garage next to it in order to, I think on the district facility plan, you have maybe 2 bays on it. I'd have to go back and look at it, but there was talk about adding 2 bays that maybe are higher to get a lift. So that's kind of where I was looking at it from a professional standpoint. I think your money would be better served to use that money elsewhere than try to convert that building, because you would still have issues down the road with it, I believe. So.
And it looks like it says 200,000 just to demolish.
Just to tear it down, and that's,
So it's a difference of at least $500,000.
yeah.
Well, that's 200,000 just to take it down to the subfloor. Now, if we go ahead and take it on down, it may
That's
be.
taking, that 200,000 is to take that whole building down to the foundation and wipe it clean.
Completely out. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have any, so it becomes basically another greenfield site that
Okay,
you can,
okay.
or brownfield that you can build back on. Like I said, expanding the bus garage.
Yeah, Jennifer and I and Trappist, and we had a guy that's one of our bus drivers now that went in, had done a lot of that demolition, and after going through and getting their opinion, Yeah, I say it's best to take it all the way to the ground.
Okay,
And that's why I wanted to provide this to you all, because I know we had that as a discussion at our last meeting. And if we needed to go back on it, right now, demolition is, listed on our DFP, our district facilities plan. And so if we wanted to use it for another need as opposed to demoing it, then, we would need to have a finding and then represent that to KDE and to add it to our district facilities plan. So, it sounds like to me though that y'all are good probably to keep it on the district facilities plan as a demolition.
I think so.
As soon as possible, and that's, you said it'd probably be summer before they could.
Because of the gas line that runs through the parking lot, we can't get buses out while we're trying to get the gas line moved. And so, anytime you do a demolition like that, you do have to account for the utilities that are involved. And so we would need to move the gas line, and so the best time to do that would be summer.
And we'll have to go ahead and get the electric and everything, start that project.
We have, Trampus has spoken with the other utility companies, and, you know, as we get closer to that time frame, we'll be having all of that moved as well. It's kind of, you do have to kind of, coordinate, you know, with the bus garage, because they still need
Right.
their utilities as well, so.
Just with the bidding process, we'll probably need to bid that sooner rather than later
I
to
think
get
we
all
need
of
to-
those things.
If we need a fence around it or whatever, we need to kind of make that decision whether we need, or if they go to gravel or whatever, you know, if it's going to be used for parking or how that will be utilized.
you have some questions about how it's graded out, because you enter up on the first floor, then on the back, you got the lower level, so how does that grade work? And what are you kind of finished with the finished product? Is it gravel, is it a little mixture of gravel lot and, grass?
Right. Yeah, we don't want just a big deep hole there that, and somebody to fall into or anything.
Right, and like I said, you do have a stormwater down in that area, so is it something that you go back and raise that whole area so it's flat and then it drains away from that area? So you don't end up with another issue down the road, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. From my student, board member.
Isabella Kurtzinger from Western Hills, and she's gonna get all bashful and shy on us now. but-
I am. So Hills has like really changed in the past year, thanks to Mr. King working with the staff. I've talked to him multiple times about some just like personal opinions and also things that I've been hearing around school about how we can make it better. And overall, the staff has become way more compassionate. I know I was in one class and I was struggling with another class and trying to fit my schedule together at the beginning of the year. And a lot of teachers will help students schedule, and especially because we have scheduling this week. They really look into students that they have nothing, they don't even have anything to do with it, but they take time out of their day to go and look for students, how they can be better, how they can succeed. That's also been like a big issue in the past, and now I think that more teachers are starting to get personal with students, and I think it's a really good achievement. And I also had that talk with Mr. King about how, like we can build teacher and student relationships, because that goes a long way with students' work ethic and respect for their teachers. And overall, I feel like Hills is starting to become more of a community. Like people rely on their teachers or counselors they're amazing. I think they're the best counselors ever. Hills has just become really, really supportive, and it's really now a community, which it really hasn't been, but now it really is. Thanks to, I think, Mr. King and all of the teachers that have been begging for more opportunities for students, and just all of that combined. I think this year Mr. King really took it to a different level and was accepting those opinions, and I'm really grateful for it, because I see a lot of freshmen are really excited about the high school. And I know whenever I was a freshman, everybody was hating high school. So I think Hills is definitely advancing a lot.
I have a question about the counselors. Do we now have two different kinds of counselors? Like the help you with problems, counselor and the scheduling counselors?
They do share some responsibilities, but I think that we've had some really excellent hires there. Kudos. Mr. King, anything you want to add to that about their jobs?
Also with some of that counseling and they run small groups, so that teamwork and therefore providing that social worker has been really helpful too.
Yeah, I was always concerned that the counselors, you know, were helping around with scheduling and helping people with that kind of thing, but they couldn't really step in and do the social work part.
Right,
So,
and part of that too is that one-on-one scheduling and then them taking a week in their den with the teachers. And the teachers were taught in a faculty meeting on how to assist students with the scheduling piece too. So it's kind of like leveraging all of the help to take some of that off.
okay, so we're doing the one-on-one scheduling.
I'm gonna talk about that in my report. in just a minute.
Okay. I can steal your.
I'm just so happy that you took after your own.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Anything else for Bella?
Thank you very much. Superintendent's report.
So I wanted to highlight one item from each of our two high schools this month. First of all, Franklin County High School, the jazz band at Franklin County High School, under the direction of Mr. Josh Topas, was one of two bands selected to perform at the All-State Conference. And that is a really huge deal, and they are amazing. If you've heard them, if you haven't, I highly encourage it. So huge shout out to the jazz band there. They represent Franklin County so well. Secondly, at Western Hills High School, and I think you may have seen this in the newspaper, great collaboration between the dance team and the Stewart Holman School. We had students that from Stewart Home came and did a routine at Western Hills, and it warmed the heart to see the collaboration between our kiddos there. And it again goes to show kind of the thing that Bella's talking about there. The culture and climate at Western Hills is in a fantastic place. So one-on-one scheduling, I did want to mention that. We actually have training tomorrow. Mr. Lewis is over there. He's coordinated that training for all of our district administrators. The one-on-one scheduling that we do, we will be going in and meeting with every single middle school and high school student who will be attending our school next year. We obviously won't meet with seniors because they're not scheduling for next year, but all of our other students, we will. And basically what that is a 15-minute time where each kid, each student has a mentor basically that they meet, and we go through their schedule for the next year to determine and make sure that they're receiving everything that they need. It also does relieve some of that burden that you talked about, Ms. Lyle, the counselors with scheduling. And it also, it provides that adult connection. So if there's a problem that students have, they can reach out and, so it's a powerful couple of days that we do. And tomorrow we're getting trained, and then those scheduling days are later in February, beginning of March. Is that right, Mr. Lewis?
Yeah, 23rd, 28th, and 1st.
Yep. So I'm very excited about that. And if any board members would like to participate in one-on-one scheduling, we would love to have you. So if you can contact Mr. Lewis, we can get you trained up, and the more the merrier as far as we're concerned.
What's the dates again?
February 23rd is Western Hills, the 28th is Franklin County, and then March the 1st will be at EMS in the morning, and then Bondard in the afternoon.
And then we
Training
can,
tomorrow.
and we can do
March
some-
what?
First,
First, at EMS?
EMS and Bondard.
Okay.
and we can get you trained separately. You don't have to come to the training tomorrow morning. We'll provide you that
What
training.
time is the training tomorrow morning?
10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
and that's at Western Hills High
Western
School
Hills Library.
in the Media Center. So if you're available, swing on by. And then lastly, I just wanted to give you a quick legislative update. We are in the middle of a session. I always want to try to bring you what current bills are that are being considered. One to keep an eye on. We still have not heard anything about the repeal of the bourbon barrel tax, thankfully. We don't want that to be repealed, so there has been nothing at this time. There have been a few bills that have been introduced, and one has passed the Senate already. That's a parental rights bill, and that's one that we'll want to keep an eye on to see what iteration it will eventually get to. Other states that have had the parental rights bills, like Florida, they're very prescriptive in terms of curriculum and issues like that. So we will continue to keep an eye on those with the Kentucky Association of School Administrators and School Superintendents, and I'll bring you updates as they come along. And that's all I have this month. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm so thankful that Rebecca's the best. Graduation. Yes, we need to go ahead and let you know that Saturday, May 27th, that is the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. Graduation is scheduled for 10 a.m. at Western Hills High School. Bella's going to walk across the stage. And then 6 p.m. that same day at Franklin County High School. Again, on the football fields, if there is rain or that we would need to postpone, the rain date is the next day, Sunday the 28th. Same times, same locations. All right.
Thank you very much.
Is there an extended weather plan?
I hope we don't have to have an extended weather plan, but we would probably look into Monday. And then at that point, we're probably looking at the following weekend just because of schedules and everything else. But frankly, what we talked about last year with our high school principals was using the gymnasiums if Saturday and Sunday didn't work out. It's not a very appealing thought because they're just not large enough, for all of the people that are going to come to graduation. So if it's a little sprinkling, we move forward. We can take care of it. If it's a downpour, that's what we're, so.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cobb. Next is a consent agenda.
The consent agenda is presented for your approval. The recommended motion is to approve the consent agenda as presented.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? In discussion, excuse me. Hearing none. All those in favor, let be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Sir Charles, I'll make.
Before you do that, Sir Charles would like to
Waited
say.
until you started saying.
Exactly, that's why I said. I'm gonna say on behalf of the board, I want to thank Rebecca and Mr. Cobb for your hospitality when we had the special call board meetings. Thank you for fixing the room up, getting things together. It was very, very kind. So thank you on behalf of the board. Okay?
That was all Rebecca.
100%.
I just joking.
Okay, Dr. Purvis.
Yes, Sir Charles, I make a motion that we adjourn.
The motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. All in favor, let be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. It is 6:43.
Yes, ma'am.